Hello, Mr. Terry.
Hello.
Long time no see. Put this in your pocket. Thank you.
Okay, what we'll do is I'll have a brief statement. I'll give you some details and some facts of the incident. Then Jose Moreno from the FBI will make a brief comment, and then Michelle Oxford, the CEO of the Heart Hospital, will make a statement, and then we'll all be available to answer any questions you might have. Please, I'm sorry?
Last name for the record.
Okay. My name is Greg Terry, G-R-E-G-T-E-R-R-Y. I'm Assistant Police Chief with the Bakersfield Police Department. Please remember that we are still very early in this incident, and there are many questions that we do not have answers to. We recognize that there are lots of questions and interest from the community and lots of concerns, and I will do my best to give you some answers to alleviate some of that, but we'll certainly give you all the facts and the details that I can that are known to us at this time. So I would just ask for your consideration when you start asking questions. There'll be a lot of things that I can't answer. On December 1st, 2017, at approximately 4:43 p.m., the Bakersfield Police Department began receiving calls from employees and citizens at the Bakersfield Heart Hospital reporting a subject outside the hospital armed with a firearm. While officers were responding, additional calls were received reporting that the suspect was actively shooting inside the hospital. Upon officers' arrival, the suspect, a white male adult, was contacted outside the hospital to the rear, and an officer-involved shooting occurred. The suspect sustained injuries from the shooting and was initially treated here at the Heart Hospital and was then transported to another local hospital. The Heart Hospital was placed on lockdown, and a search of the entire premises was done. There were no additional suspects located, and there are no additional suspects being sought at this time. The initial investigation has revealed that the suspect was at the rear of the hospital and fired several shots into a glass door and then entered the hospital through that same door. A short time later, he was confronted by a hospital security officer, and the suspect pointed his firearm at the security officer, but no shots were fired. It was shortly after that that the suspect went back outside, was confronted by Bakersfield police officers, and the officer-involved shooting occurred. There is no evidence at this time that any shots were fired by the suspect inside the hospital. There were no reported injuries to patients, staff, or visitors. 2 firearms were recovered from the suspect, a handgun and a rifle. The initial response to the incident was, of course, the Bakersfield Police Department, officers from the Kern County Sheriff's Office, the California Highway Patrol, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The motive for the incident is unknown. The identity of the suspect is known to us but is not being released at this time, as this investigation is still in its very, very early stages and ongoing. We also recognize that it is likely that there are videos of this incident or portions thereof captured by visitors, patients, or staff here in the vicinity, and we're asking that anyone with videos is encouraged to email them to this address. I'm going to give it to you now. It's bpdcommunity@bakersfieldpd.us. Anyone with information here locally is asked to call the Bakersfield Police Department, or you can call the FBI at area code 916-746-7000. I'll now turn it over to Jose Moreno from the local FBI office to make a few statements.
Switch these off. Oh, no, now we're all wrapped up.
Sir.
Put this in your pocket or?
Yeah.
Everybody ready? First and last name just for the record.
Jose Moreno. I'm the supervisor here for the FBI here in Bakersfield.
Okay, what is your guys' role in this incident?
We responded with the BPD as well.
Can you spell your name, sorry?
Moreno.
Mr. Moreno, the FBI, I'm assuming, is investigating the officer-involved shooting portion of this incident.
No, we're not. Let me just say first and foremost that we want to make sure we thank the BPD for their rapid response. to the incident. They encountered the shooter right away, and that made a big difference in this matter. There is no nexus to terrorism at this moment, at least. We could say that. And we will be here to support the investigation as it continues moving forward.
Is that why the FBI was called in for a possible terrorism investigation?
No, we respond just like everyone else to these these shooting incidents.
There was a high-profile incident.
Yes.
What is your guys' role in assisting them as far as?
We're going to conduct as much of the investigation as we possibly can and help them out with anything that they need any assistance in as the investigation moves forward. So I'd like to turn it back to Assistant Chief Terry, please.
The wired up there.
Put this in the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can. Yeah. Thank you.
First and last name, just for the record.
Michelle Oxford.
And how do you spell that? Michelle, spell it correctly.
Oxford.
And first name.
Oh, Michelle.
And your title.
Chief Executive Officer.
Okay. As far as understanding that you guys have a system in place for these kinds of incidents, how did that play out for you?
Yes, at approximately 4:45, a housekeeper came to my office in administration and said that there was a gentleman in the back parking lot with a firearm. We immediately called a code silver overhead. We do have active shooter drills on a periodic basis, and I can say that my staff did a phenomenal job getting both themselves, patients, and families to safe locations until the BPD arrived. And we want to thank the Bakersfield Police Department for their quick response and the work that they did to keep us safe.
A staff member said that it was a member of the custodial staff that alerted everyone inside about the gunman. Is that the case? Is
Correct.
that what made the difference?
Correct. Ashley, her name's Ashley from Sodexo, one of our housekeepers, came directly to administration, told us to stay in the office, and then I directly picked up the phone and called the code silver for the staff.
What time was that called?
About 4:45. Yeah.
What kind of damage to the facility? We understand the glass was shot out.
Yeah, at this point we haven't, it's a crime scene, so it is locked off, but we do know that the back door was completely shot out, and that's how he used to enter the hospital.
Are
I
you
know
good?
you said that no one was shot, but is anyone injured from either your staff or patients in the hospital?
No, we do not have any injuries of staff, patients, or families.
Will counseling be brought in for those who were present at the time of this attack?
Certainly, we will have counselors on site to speak with staff, and family or anyone who is involved can come back, and we can certainly have those conversations with them to make them feel better. It was a traumatic experience for all involved.
That was the question there.
Yeah, it went on for a long time, and uncertainty, and people were seeing somebody in the hallway with an assault rifle, so that's very terrifying. So we will deal with them and bring our counselors in to help.
Now, is the gunman dead? Can you say that, or is that for?
I'll speak to any of those investigative type questions.
Have you seen anything like this at Bakersfield Heart Hospital before?
No, this has not been something that we've ever experienced.
Do we know if he's ever been employed here or a patient here?
I have no knowledge of the gunman.
What kind of training is provided to staff?
We have an active shooter drill that happens once or twice a year, and we also require an annual video portion of that type of training for all employees to undergo.
Do we have surveillance in the rear view of the hospital?
Yes, we have cameras in the hospital.
This was near the emergency room exit entrance, as I understand it.
I'm going to let
Chief Terry?
Chief Terry take that.
Switch mics.
Okay.
This way and then go like this.
Oh, there you go. Look at you.
Thank you so much.
Ingenuity.
Thank you.
I would also like to reiterate that we've had tremendous support from staff here We recognize that there was significant disruption over a period of hours for the families here, the patients, and the staff as well. And we've had tremendous support from everyone here that has helped us facilitate this investigation so far. And so we certainly want to thank them for that, as well as all of our law enforcement partners for responding so quickly, and having these assets here was very helpful, and will be in the hours and days ahead as we move in this investigation.
Outside the investigation portion itself, how long was the actual incident?
We don't know how long the suspect was here. We don't know how he got here. There's lots of things that we don't know at this point. I do know that the officer-involved shooting occurred within 2 minutes of the officers being on scene.
How many officers fired?
2.
2 officers.
Can you tell us where the gunman was shot and what condition he's in now?
I cannot give you the specifics on the injuries because I don't have them, but he is in stable condition.
What kind
There-
of record does he have? Does he have a record? Or?
I don't know.
There were earlier reports floating around that he had been to the facility earlier to see a woman, a relative perhaps, and may have been turned away. Anything to that?
That is certainly a subject of our investigation as to why he was here, what occurred, what brought him here, how he got here. Those are lots of things that we don't know. And certainly anyone with that kind of information, we would want to know it, because that is a key part of the investigation.
Have you guys located the address of this person in Bakersfield?
We do know who the person is, yes.
Bakersfield resident?
That I don't know specifically.
A general description of this person?
An adult white male.
Did the suspect shoot at officers?
Not to my knowledge,
Witnesses
but I
had
don't
varying-
know that for a fact.
Witnesses had varying accounts of how many shots they heard. How many shots did the gunman get off?
I do not know.
Do you credit your first responder training to respond so quickly? You said the shooting occurred within 2 minutes of him being on scene. Do you credit any training for that?
Yeah, I mean, the outcome of this incident is in large part due to the quick action of staff and employees here at the hospital, getting that information to us through our communications center to the officers in the field, and then the officers arriving here, trying to locate the area where this was reportedly occurring and confronting the suspect. And so the quick actions by the officers absolutely is part of our training and those kinds of things, and that's what the community expects of us when we respond to these types of incidents, and the officers performed that way tonight.
And just lastly, the estimated time he goes to be out in the back of the facility?
I don't know.
timeframe?
Don't know.
Age range of the suspect at all?
No.
Can you tell us where the suspect was shot?
No.
You said 2 firearms, a handgun, and a rifle. Do you have more specific information about those?
I do not.
Also known as a canine involved? The canine involved as well?
In what?
In the takedown of the suspect.
Not to my knowledge, no.
Where is he being treated at?
Another local hospital.
Did Bakersfield police officers do life-saving tactics on the suspect after he was shot?
I'm not sure. I know that he was quickly brought into the hospital. How that and who was involved in that, I'm not sure.
But thankful that everyone made it up. No loss of life there.
Absolutely. I mean, these things are very traumatic to the locations where they occur and to our community. And so, and for the officers and the employees and staff here, and we'll all be affected by these types of incidents. And so we will do our best to, as we move through this, to make sure that we communicate as much information as we can to the community so everyone understands what occurs, and we can talk about lessons maybe learned, or in other words, another way for people to recognize that these incidents can occur and the importance of being prepared.
One of the women that we were able to interview earlier was a witness. She said that had an encounter with a guy, and he said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to shoot you." Are there other people he may have spoken to to your knowledge?
And that's what I'm saying. I don't know how long he was here, how many people he contacted, and so anyone with that type of information, we would want to know that. But we have detectives here, and we are in the process of interviewing numerous people, and so hopefully that kind of information will come across. But again, if there are people out here, because I know over a period of time, people that came to the area may have witnessed parts of it and left. Anyone with information, we need them to call us so that we can provide or obtain all the information that might be relevant to this incident.
And do you have any information if the suspect had a relationship with the hospital, worked here?
That's not known at this time.
Can you give us more specific said
A handgun and a rifle. I can't be more specific at this point.
Is the hospital still on lockdown?
It is not.
Is there anything that drew this investigation to Holiday Inn Express? Anything to do with a truck with Utah plates?
We have parts of this investigation ongoing as we're searching for reasons and backgrounds and a variety of other issues, and so there is activity occurring in other locations, but specifically where and why, I don't know that information at this point.
How long do you think you'll be out here tonight?
I don't know.
Thanks.
Okay?
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Chief Terry.
Thank you.
That clears up some.
Thank you.